So good afternoon, everyone. So with me today is Sir Gershom. He passed the NCLEX as well as the IELTS already. So he
Yes.
passed the NCLEX. When did you pass the NCLEX, Sir Gershom?
Last year, August 9, 2019.
Mm-hmm. Last year. You are one of the candidates of Health Carousel
Mm-hmm.
under the Aspire program.
Yes, yes.
So how were you able to find Health Carousel and how did you know about the Aspire program of Health Carousel?
Well, it was actually back in 2018, 2 years into practicing my nursing career here in the Philippines, when I decided to pursue my American dream. And we all know naman that you can only start that process by taking the NCLEX.
Mm-hmm.
So, nag-search ako sa Facebook ng mga possible employers, nursing groups who can recommend ano ba yung mga agencies na pwede nilang mai-recommend sa akin that
Mm-hmm.
offers these services. And it just so happens na when I scrolled through my news feed, merong ad post si Health Carousel. And what really caught my attention was the NCLEX sponsorship because I know that having the or taking the NCLEX can be quite expensive. It's not a joke to pay for the NCLEX. So, nag-try lang naman ako. I submitted a form on their website, on Health Carousel website. And then, I believe after a day, Sir Miko from Health Carousel contacted me. And then, he invited me because at the time, parang meron silang grand recruitment day. So, he invited me to come over sa grand recruitment day nila, and then there will be parang a representative from the United States that will come over the Philippines and select some candidates. So, yun. That was the beginning of my journey with Health Carousel.
So with the Aspire program that you were
Mm-hmm.
enrolled under
Mm-hmm.
the Health Carousel, what do you
Mm-hmm.
think? How did it help you for this achievement of your American dream, like becoming a USRN?
Well, definitely, I think the Aspire program, it's really a big deal. It's an opportunity because the Aspire program, it is basically an NCLEX sponsorship program which they offer to qualified candidates. So, at the time, nag-qualify ako because I was a graduate of nursing in the year 2015. And at that
Mm-hmm.
time, they're still offering free NCLEX sponsorship for those who are graduates of batch 2015 and above. So, basically nag-qualify, and then the first thing that we did was after the recruitment process, there was this, I think it's a pre-test to basically assess if you are truly qualified or if your knowledge is enough to qualify for their Aspire program. But the test, it's quite easy. I mean, if you're a nursing graduate, you can definitely answer the question. So, very thankful kasi merong Aspire program which really helped me because looking back, 2018, 2019, if you're going to ask me to pay for the NCLEX fees, I might have a hard time to complete the payment because we all know naman that the nursing profession here in the Philippines, medyo mababa talaga yung sahod natin. So, yeah, so when I qualified for the Aspire program, talagang ginrab ko siya and I took the most out of it. Yun nga, just like what they're trying to promote na with the Aspire program, what you really have to focus on is your preparation for the NCLEX, which is a big deal because wala ka nang ibang iintindihin. You don't have to worry about the payment. You don't have to worry about where to get the money for the payment. So it's very helpful, especially for those who plan to take their NCLEX and are qualified for the Aspire program.
Yeah, I believe so. In addition to that, like it's really a big help for Filipinos.
Yes, yes,
Kasi as you have said, yun nga, mahal nga talaga yung NCLEX and
yes,
the expenses are it's really much yung expenses
yes, yes.
natin. And it's really a big help if there will be
Mm-hmm.
someone who can sponsor for it and
Mm-hmm.
knowing that you are qualified for those requirements that they have asked you to provide. So, malaking tulong din talaga. Kasi, well, why not grab the opportunity
Yes,
wherein
yes.
pwede naman talaga na someone can sponsor you. We've been serving a lot of Aspire candidates actually. We started our partnership since 2017, I believe so. And up until now, we are still receiving candidates for the Aspire program.
Mm-hmm.
And with this partnership, it's really a huge help for a lot of
Yes.
nursing graduates who are still waiting at this time na at least magte-take sila ng NCLEX at this time, and then after which meron na agad silang employer kasi tuloy-tuloy na din naman yung process. So it's really a huge help. So let's talk about the NCLEX process, Sir Gershom. What is your feedback about IPASS? How IPASS was able to help you during the processing?
All right. Inabot, I think, around 4 to 5 months for my whole process of the NCLEX application for Texas BON. And I think it's quite fast because ang sabi is parang general process time would take around 6 months. So
Yes.
it's very impressive na mabilis yung process na nakuha ko. Around 4 to 5 months nagkaroon na ako ng APT. So I'm looking really, really thankful na ginayad talaga ako ng IPASS kasi aminado naman ako, medyo matanong ako when it comes to processes. So, kada may tanong ako, magme-message lang ako sa group chat, Ma'am, Sir, can you please assist me with this? Paano ba gagawin to? Especially sa part ng medyo nahirapan ako dun sa FBI fingerprint cards. It's quite tricky. Kailangan tama talaga yung pagkakagawa mo. So, that's the time that I really, madami ako naging tanong with IPASS. And I can really say na they are very accommodating. They won't get tired of answering all of the questions. So, yun, very, very thankful talaga.
It's good to hear that one. Thank you very much for those feedback that you have for us, Sir Gershom. How about the preparation on your examination? How did you prepare? Can you tell us more on what strategies did you do? Like what materials did you use?
So with regards to the NCLEX preparation, I think a good solid 2 months worth of review will be enough. However, it will depend. Could be less, it could be more. So, on my case, personally, I reviewed for about 2 months. So, aside from reviewing, I was still working at the time. So, medyo the balance between work and studying, it's quite difficult. And I can hear that from a lot of people kapag nagbabasa ako sa Lefora ng mga usapan about NCLEX. Yun talaga yung isa sa mga parang main concerns nila na I'm working, so how do I study while I'm working? So I think a good suggestion that I can make if you are working and if it is possible on your case na what I did kasi before was I talked to my head and specifically requested for a night shift. So most of the time I was assigned at night shifts. So what I would do was mag-aaral ako sa umaga kapag walang duty, and then try ko pa din mag-aral during my night shift. So I would still try to answer some questions while at work kapag hindi naman busy. And another thing na masasuggest ko din in terms of reviewing for the NCLEX is that you really have to create your own personalized study plan, because very common pero naririnig natin what works for me, what might not work for other people. So we really need to find the balance kung paano natin aaralin yung iba't ibang concepts, because wala naman talagang nakakaalam sa atin kung ano yung mga specific na lalabas during the actual NCLEX examination. So it can be a burden sometimes na aaralin mo yung buong Brunner and Sudart na medical surgical. It's really thick and 2 volume pa yun. So it's like, paano mo siya gagawin, right? So yun, you just have to find your own strategy. And with regards naman to the materials that I use, there were 3 main materials na ginamit ko. And it's also, I think, majority of the students, ito naman yung ginagamit nila. But I have to tell this also. The first one that I use, very common, is UWorld. So very familiar naman tayo with the UWorld. Ang daming students na gumagamit niyan. So basically, UWorld it is a question bank. It has, I think, around 2,000 plus questions, which covers majority of the most common topics na lumalabas sa NCLEX. And it's very impressive kasi you can tweak little details about your review that you'll be doing in UWorld. You can choose kung anong specific systems yung gusto mong aralin, and then there's like different modes na pwede mong gawin to aid you in your review. And what I can also say about the UWorld is the interface. It's very similar to the actual NCLEX exam. So somehow it will give you a sense of familiarity, and I think it's it's an added point kapag familiar ka na dun sa interface. Kumbaga parang somehow nalilesen yung anxiety mo. And the good thing about UWorld then is that the questions are more difficult in UWorld compared to the actual NCLEX. So I think that's a good point to talk about the new world. And also, it will help you in terms of the testmanship skills.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one that I used was the charity book.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's a compilation of questions, and the charity will help you sharpen your skills in prioritization and delegation. Pretty common in NCLEX. There's a lot of questions that will test your skills in terms of prioritization, delegation, which is quite handy din naman in the real world of nursing. And the third and final tool that I use for my NCLEX preparation or review material is the Mark Clinic audio.
Okay.
So, it is actually a series of lectures, 3 days, parang 3-day lecture siya na hinati-hati lang into different parts depending on the topic. So, what I did was, hindi na ako nag-cover to cover ng libro, yun na lang yung ginamit ko for my content. So,
Mm.
yeah, so I think it's very helpful kasi parang kumbaga kinompress na nila yung mga possible topics without the hassle of you having to read from cover to cover. But again, it will depend on the examinee. Kung gusto niyang mag-cover to cover, walang problema doon. That's good for him or for her. But for those people na talagang, we must admit it, meron talagang mga students na very, kumbaga, kapag nagtatrabaho ka, wala ka talagang time or mahirapan ka kapag nag-cover to cover ka pa. So, for those looking for much simpler concepts, yung mga naka-compress na, you can check Mark Limic's audios. So, those are the three main things I use for my review. But I have to add also pala, Ma'am Rachel, on top of those three things pala na ginamit ko, the Aspire program, they have their own review materials then. So that is quite handy then for our Aspire candidates.
So you finish all the modules as well because Health Carousel is really giving the modules to the candidates, isn't it?
Yes.
So you've gone through all those modules as well.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because they are not going to allow you to sit for the exam, isn't it? If hindi mo pa natapos yung mga modules.
Yes. Yes,
So
yes. You have to finish.
You would also really recommend na dapat si Aspire candidate should finish everything in there doon sa modules na binibigay ni Health Carousel, right?
Yes, my advice to our Aspire candidate, yung modules, kasi minsan parang na-take for granted daw. So, my advice is seryosohin kasi maganda yung mga topics na nandun. They're very handy for you. I might say, if you are quite medyo tight ang budget, you can actually use that for your review because complete naman yung topics na nandun. So, for candidates who do not wish or ayaw na nilang maghanap ng iba pang mga review materials, then take the module seriously.
Your preparation was really very impressive, Sir Gershom. First thing to note, you were very diligent. Kasi kahit nagtatrabaho ka, you're going to study. So you have your night shift. And then in the morning, you're going to study. And doing that really takes a lot of patience and persistence coming from you, isn't it?
Yes.
And then, the second one is you have to, recap ko lang. First, the applicant or the examinee must be diligent. And the second one, he has to have his own study plan, study habit. And then the third one is one has to use the recommended materials.
Yes, yes.
And not take for granted all those para dun sa mga Aspire candidates, not to take for granted yung binigay na modules.
Yes, yes.
How about your actual examination? How was your experience during your exam day?
As I mentioned kanina, I took my NCLEX last August 9. And actually, hindi ko lang ma-recall, pero I think may bagyo that time. So it was raining really hard that day.
So,
sobrang lakas ng ulan.
Parang it's a test of, is this examination really for me or it's not for me? Bakit tinetest ako?
Yes. So, sobrang lakas ng ulan, but hindi na ako nag-check-in sa hotel near Trident Tower. So, what I did, umalis kami ng bahay ng sobrang aga. Believe it or not, umalis kami ng Bulacan 3 a.m.
Wow!
We left Bulacan at 3 a.m. But dumating kami sa Makati 6 a.m. na. It was very traffic. sobrang traffic pa din kahit madaling araw na kami umalis, kahit madaling araw na kami bumiyahe. So, may tip or may advice for those candidates or for those test takers na manggagaling from far provinces, if you can afford it, if meron namang means, it's better to check in a hotel near Trident Towers para hindi ka na rin ma-hassle sa pagbabiyahe because the traffic is really heavy in that area going to Makati. So you can opt to stay in a place near Makati or near the Trident Towers. So dumating kami sa Trident Tower 6 a.m. Then we had breakfast. Actually, I was with my whole family. I was with my dad, mom, and my sister.
Very supportive yung family mo.
Yes. Sumama sila. So the rule was you have to be in the test center 30 minutes before the exam, and my exam was scheduled at 8:30. So so umakyat na ako sa Trident Towers at around 8 a.m. And when I arrived there, I was actually surprised because I was the last candidate to enter. Parang ako na lang pala yung inaantay, even though 30 minutes naman. So actually, before you enter the Pearson VUE Test Center, a personnel or a representative will ask you to turn off your mobile device. So bawal lang naka-on na mobile device inside the testing center. We were asked to do that, and then parang binigyan kami ng number kasi isa-isa pang i-verify yung identity before you can actually proceed with the exam.
Right.
So going in Pearson VUE, there is some sort of atmosphere. It is actually, I don't know how to correctly describe, pero it's really quiet and napakalamig. Malamig doon. So guys, bring jacket. Napakalamig talaga doon sa lobby area. So actually, it was not dread, pero sobrang quiet talaga doon sa lugar na yon. So somehow medyo magiging uneasy ka, but of course you have to manage your anxiety really well. So we were called one by one. Don't forget, guys, to bring your passport, by the way, because this is the only sort of accepted identification for us here in the Philippines.
Right.
So we were called one by one, verified our identity. And then the funny thing was, a photo was taken after parang kukunan ka ng picture, and at that time, hindi ko alam yung picture pala na yun yung lalabas sa pass report.
Yes.
So, I actually sobrang poker face lang ng itsura ko because I didn't know. Parang sabi ko, baka proof of ano lang to, parang proof na nag-exam ka talaga on that day. But if you can put your best foot forward during that picture taking, because lalabas yun sa pass report. So, our picture was taken, and then after that, you will be asked to put your things in the locker. So if you have food, if you have water, put it all in the locker. And then the phone is asked to be placed inside the Ziploc. So you cannot open the Ziploc unless you have finished the exam. So we are asked to put our things in the locker, and then after that, papapilahin uli kayo before you can actually enter inside the testing room. So since I was the last candidate to arrive, so ako yung nasa pinakadulo ng pila, and then even before the actual entering of the testing room, i-check pa uli kayo isa-isa. Ang daming pag-check na mangyayari. So you are wearing a jacket, you will be asked to empty the pockets of the jacket and then even your jeans. For the girls, if you have a long hair, ipapataas pa yan lahat sa'yo. It may sound ridiculous, but they really do that. They have to do that for security purposes. And even on my case, I'm wearing glasses. They ask me to remove my glass and they put it on some sort of scanning machine because maybe for security purposes then. So yun, ganun ka-rigorous yung step. So that is the reason why you have to arrive there early because there's a lot of checking to do. Those were the pre-checks na ginagawa. So that was, bago pa lang yung pinaka-exam, ang dami mo ng pagdadaanan. So after all of those things na ginawa sa'yo, you will be assigned the computer. There's some sort of, parang may harang naman. So you can't actually see the other candidates because there are cubicles in each computer. So that's when the start will begin after some few instructions that will be given to you. Then that is the time that you will be asked to start the examination, the NCLEX exam. And what I can say about the exam itself is it is challenging in a sense because, again, hindi nga natin alam kung ano yung mga certain topics na lumalabas during the NCLEX. And what I really appreciate or maybe napansin ko dun sa actual exam, it's sobrang ano siya, it's very personalized since they use computerized adaptive testing. So,
Yes.
na-notice ko after some few questions, after a few number of items, they were consistently giving me the same type of topic, which I'm particularly weak. And ang weakest subject ko kasi is pediatric. Binabato nila ako ng questions on pediatrics as in sunod-sunod. So, at the time, sabi ko, bakit puro pedya yung lumalabas? Parang ang sinasabi na ang mga itatanong is more on parang endocrine system, MS, psych drugs. So going into the exam, parang yun yung mga more on the topics na napakinggan ko, yun yung parang kumbaga doon ako nag-focus because I know, especially in the psych area, medyo weak din ako doon. But again, pediatrics is my weakest subject. So I guess the computer had a way to predict or to know na my weakest area is in pediatrics. So yun yung mga questions na paulit-ulit na binabato sa akin. So every test taker, I think we have different types of questions na tinatanong sa atin. So we really have to be familiar with different NCLEX type questions, not only the multiple choice. We have to be familiarized with the SATA, even though it's parang yun yung pinaka-hate ng marami candidates. They hate SATA kasi mahirap naman talaga. And also, you have to be familiarized with drag and drop type of questions. Usually with your drag and drop, these are questions that involves nursing procedures. So, step-by-step nursing procedures. And then, also, your hotspot images, usually parts of the body with the hotspot images. So, you just have to be familiarized with the So, I took my NCLEX around 1 hour and 30 minutes because my exam stopped at number 85. So, nag-stop na siya at 85. So, after that, there will be a research section. So, honestly, the research section will give you a preview, I think, of what the next generation NCLEX type questions will be.
Right.
So, my piece of advice to those people that are having second thoughts if they really want to take the NCLEX, i-take nyo na ang NCLEX because if the time comes na mag-change na sila ng if the time comes na papalitan nila ang of how they administer or if how they give the NCLEX questions, guys, napakahirap. Ang hirap talaga, sobra. It's like a case study type of question. So anyway, future test takers will be seeing it naman, pero it's really difficult. So guys, take nyo na ang NCLEX. Wag na kayong mag-atubili na i-take ito ngayon. So honestly, on my part, I didn't finish the research part. Parang nag-answer ako maybe 2 or 3 questions lang. And then after that, in-end ko na kasi sumasakit na talaga yung ulo ko. Actually, mas mahirap pa siya dun sa actual exam.
Na-drain na yung brain mo, sir.
Yes.
But actually, your research topics will be those questions that are included in the research questions will be implemented by 2023. So whether you like it or not, whether the examiner likes it or not, one will be able to experience those research questions by 2023.
Okay.
So, as soon as they can take the examination, it will be better if magte-take na sila ng exam. So, thank you very much for that very detailed sharing on your experience, Sir Gershom. And then, what about sa mga nahihirapan? Like, kasi sometimes, definitely, when you are going to prepare a lot, when you are anxious of your examination, there are times na napapagod ka rin. So what you can advise doon sa mga or yung sa mga candidates natin na like kulang ng motivation, kulang ng determination to pass this NCLEX. So what can you advise to them probably, Sir Gershom?
To our candidates who are having second thoughts or maybe they're having a hard time, less motivation, or they're experiencing some sort of struggle in their preparation for the NCLEX, there are really times, even me, I experienced that. And I don't think na dahil nararamdaman mo yon, you're gonna be a different test taker. No, all of us experience that. That certain self-doubt, it's normal. na talagang may times na feeling mo madadown ka, especially during your review progress, kapag nakikita mo na parang, ay, hindi naman ata nag-i-improve yung score ko. So, what's the point of preparing? But, mind you guys, kapag ka nasa dark moment ka na in your preparation for the NCLEX, try to dig deep and try to go back to the beginning when you first decided that you are going to pursue your American dream. Alalahanin mo, why did I do it in the first place? Para kanino ko ginagawa tong bagay na to? Why am I doing this? Why do I want to go to America? And I guess sometimes we have to push ourselves a little harder. And as hard as it may seem, but it's worth it. I mean, lahat nung self-doubt, lahat nung kapaguran na experience natin during the preparation, it will all be soon worth it. And whether we like it or not, we really have to work hard for our dreams, for us to be able to achieve those dreams. And don't forget that pushing out of our comfort zones will always be the hardest part of this journey. And wag nating kakalimutan that, again, God hears our prayers. He sees the desire of our hearts during this NCLEX journey that we are into. And we just have to ask the guidance din from God na i-guide din tayo through this journey. And sobrang napaka-importante talaga ng prayers in our preparation in the NCLEX. And I think it's not a waste of time to spare some time na mag-reflect or go to your prayer room or in your own personal space and try to talk to God and God, ito talaga yung gusto ko na this is a dream for me personally, for my loved ones, and I really want to achieve this for not only for myself but also for the people that I love. And also there's a mantra or there's a believing that I hold on to. This is something that nagamit ko na rin siya when I took my nursing licensure exam way back 2015. And the mantra goes something like this: whenever you want something so bad, whenever your heart desires something so bad, the universe will conspire for you to be able to achieve that dream and turn that dream into a reality. Basic
Yes.
law of attraction.
That's really true. So someone really has to go out of his comfort zone, 'di ba? And
Yes,
has to assess himself, bakit ko nga ba 'to ginagawa? Ano ba ang
yes,
reason why I am doing this? And one has to pray because it's
yes,
just with God's help na ma-achieve natin yung aspirations natin in life.
yes, yes.
And thank you very much for that, Sir Gershom. Your mantra is really working well. If you want something, definitely everything will fall into place as
Yes,
long as you want. Kasi hahanap ka ng ways eh. Hahanap ka ng
yes,
paano ko ba
yes,
gagawin so that my plans, my dreams will come true. So
yes,
definitely, your mind will be active din. Ano yung pwede mong gawin? Anong
yes,
strategies na pwede mong gawin? And definitely, with God's help, everything will fall into
yes,
the right, it will fall
yes,
into the right place.
yes, yes.
Yes. So, Sir Gershom, ano na yung plans mo ngayon?
Actually, I'm waiting for my visa petition approval with Health
Mm-mm.
Carousel. So right now, yun yung step na inaantay ko. Hopefully, my visa petition gets approved. And actually, with regards to the visa bulletin, we are seeing a move forward. So I think that's a good
Congrats!
sign. Yes, yes. It's ano siya, nag-move siya forward. So hopefully it gets current soon and hopefully the petition gets approved so that I can personally move on and continue on with my American dream.
Yeah, after this lockdown, so wait lang natin na you will
Yes,
be
yes,
employed and then after
yes,
that, hintayin lang natin yung approval mo. So you just
yes,
enjoy
yes,
your time. So,
yes, yes.
any word of thanks for Health Carousel? Probably, Sir Gersom.
For the Health Carousel, first of all, I have to thank personally Health Carousel for putting their trust in me. If it weren't for you guys, if it weren't for the sponsorship, I wouldn't have been able to take the NCLEX as much as I wanted to. So, sobrang laking bagay nito. And thank you for always guiding me in every step of the way since I signed up. Up to now, talagang hindi nila ako pinapabayaan. And I have to give a special shout out to my program advisor, Miss Patricia Garcia, for being with me every step of the way. Sobrang napaka-accommodating, and kapag may mga kailangan ako, tatawag agad siya or magre-reply agad through email. So, it's very helpful for me personally.
Thank you very much. Definitely, they will be happy to know na naging okay yung process mo and everything went well. And that's also because you are very cooperative as well. So,
Yes, yes.
one has to cooperate as well kung ano yung
Yes.
requirements, kung ano yung, they also have to do their own share. Ayun,
Yes,
din yung,
compliance.
yeah, they have to be compliant. And we are really very grateful nang dahil sa Health Carousel, the nurse's dream will come true after some time. And what about IPASS, Sir Gershom? What can you say? Any words for IPASS?
So for IPASS, I really have to thank sa'yo na din, Miss Rachel, for helping a lot of Filipino nurses or even other foreign nurses to jumpstart their careers abroad, overseas. And sobrang napakalaking tulong ng ginagawa nyo. Sobrang na-appreciate namin. I'm not the only one to say this, but we really appreciate all of the things that you are doing for us nurses. We all know that processing NCLEX or any type of overseas exam can be quite tedious and difficult, especially kapag walang guidance. So it's a really big thing for someone such as IPAS to be able to help us without the hassle of actually thinking about complicated technical stuff such as filling up forms, because sometimes nagkakamali sa pag-fill up ng forms, and it can be quite time consuming kapag hindi mo agad na nail ang isang form sa pag-accomplish. And I also have to also thank the fact that even though I already passed my NCLEX, I'm still having constant communication with the IPASS team, specifically Ma'am Rachel, and Ma'am Jean as well. During the time that I had to process my visa screen, I personally messaged you and Ma'am Jean for some assistance and some questions, and you were very quick to respond to me. So I'm really proud to say that I'm an IPASS NCLEX baby.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate your feedback, Sir Gershom. And thank you really very much for Health Carousel. If not because of them as well, this wouldn't be possible as well. So, sobrang thank you nang dahil sa Aspire program. They helped a lot of Filipino candidates and hassle-free on their part kasi they just have to apply with them. If naman na matatanggap sila, then they can move forward with the scholarship. And also, ayun na, continuous na yung process nila. So, there will be someone who will sponsor them, someone who will take care of the processing, kung sino man yung processing agency, like IPASS, kung doon man mabibigay, IPASS yung candidate na yon, and then after which, employment application will follow. So, thank you very much for your time, Sir Gershom, and sorry dahil na-disturb kita sa oras mo.
It's okay. Anytime.
I'm very happy to, and I'm very glad to know kung ano yung naging experience mo. And thank you very much doon sa mga shinare mo na pwedeng gawin na mga strategies ng mga future USRNs natin. So God bless on your journey, Sir Gershom. And I look forward to see you someday.
Yes.
And then
Let's do that.
Dito lang kami sa Pilipinas.
All right.
Bye, Sir Gershom.
Bye.
Thank you.
Rachel.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you po.